right. I am very humbled and excited to speak to you today. I recognize that not very many students get this opportunity to speak to such a large group of people who are here to listen. However, this has been somewhat of a consistent theme for me throughout my education. People listening, people creating an environment where I have been heard, where I have had the opportunity to flourish and to grow in everything that I have done. Yesterday, as I was walking to go vote over at the Student Lunchroom Center, I took a road that I haven't taken since I was a freshman. And as I walked down that road that I walked down every single day my freshman year, I realized just how much I have changed in the past 2.5 years since I came here to Utah State University. I remembered the thoughts that I had as I walked down those streets. I remembered the feelings that I had as I looked at the trees, as I passed people who seemed like they had everything put together, and I was a mess. When I first came here, I had a lot of potential. I had a lot of raw talents. I had a lot of raw abilities and a lot of raw motivation. I love learning. I always have. Since I was a little girl, every time that I have taken a class, I've said, that is my favorite class, and I've meant it. I love learning. And when I was a freshman, I had that same energy. I had that same drive. I wanted to go conquer the world, and I wanted to conquer it in every single direction. And so my first year, I think I started out in math, then English, then FCHD, and then I'm now in communication studies. I'm missing a couple in there. But you can tell that I somewhat struggled to find my ground, to find where I could flourish, where I could become the person that I knew that I could become. Now, I always had this potential within me to become something better than I then was. And I propose that right now, standing in front of you, giving a TED Talk, that I have actualized some of that potential within me to be confident. Not only confident in myself, but confident in the message that I have to share with you today. And that is the message that students have potential, and that we have the power as students, as teachers, as administration, as our communities, to foster that, to create learners, to create people who want to go out into the world and who want to learn and who will do everything in their power to do so. Now, as I was contemplating, okay, how did this change happen? How, with 2 years of going to classes, did I become a new person with new abilities, new understandings of the world? How did this happen? And as I was thinking about this, I came up with two different ideas that combine to make this change happen. Now, the first of these ideas are the students' innate motivation. The students' abilities, their talents, what they come in with, what makes that student special. That is one quality, that's one circumstance that alters the equation. But the other is the environment in which that student is placed. Now, the environment can either be lush and fertile, or it can be barren. There can be lots of rain that can help it to grow and nourish it, even though it's hard when it begins to rain. There can be sunshine, or there can be a drought. And with this environment, this is created in every setting that we go into, but specifically an environment is created for students at a university. So that is why this is important, is that at a university, we have the opportunity to create this new environment for students, where no matter what kind of seed they are to be planted in this soil, we can make sure that that ground is fertile, so that they have the option, they have the choice of whether or not to grow. So, as I was thinking back, I've had so many incredible professors, incredible leaders, teachers, advisors, people who have pushed me in all of these different directions. But there was one particular experience that made my environment so fertile, that made me refined me, that made me question my world, made me come to terms with who I am, and pushed me forward, and has been a catalyst for every other thing that I have done while here at this university. And that was a research project that I was involved with Utah State University and the Business Innovation Factory. Now, the Business Innovation Factory is a nonprofit organization. It's housed in Rhode Island, and what they do is that they study different ways to change the structure of our social systems. Everything from healthcare to education reforms, from entrepreneurship to how we help people in elderly homes or with dental care. So they had gone in before to educational facilities and had made changes, looking from the outside, saying, okay, this is what we need to tweak. Let's tweak it. Let's overhaul the system and put in this new thing. Now, they thought to themselves as they came and had the opportunity to be united with Utah State University, you know, students are the ones going through this process. Students are the ones going to the classes. They're the ones who use the resources. They're the ones who are a part of this. Why don't we have the students ask these questions? Why don't we have them answer it? And so with this question, they came to Utah State University and they made a class. Now, this class was formed just a week or two before, before it was put into practice. And so there wasn't a syllabus. There wasn't hardly anything planned except for that we were going to go through an innovation process and that we were going to come up with something revolutionary for the university. Yeah, no pressure, first day of class. That's what they tell you. We don't have a plan very much, but you're going to change the university, the entire university. Yeah, it was great. And so when we first got there, it was a daunting task, and we took it on strongly. And so this semester was divided into 4 sections. First of all, they needed us to gain a better understanding of the university. They needed us not to only be students, but to be hybrid students with a universal understanding of what goes on in the university. So we didn't come in with all these biases saying, you know, the university should change this and it should do this and this, so that we wouldn't just be students griping about the university. They wanted us to understand the problems that were going on. And so that was the first step. The second step was then to go collect the student voice. Listen to the students, listen to what they needed, what they wanted, what they had, listen to what they were utilizing, and understand the student voice, the student perspective. So then after that, we were to synthesize our ideas and come up with insights, valuable insights that we could then tell everyone and express in a meaningful way. And after we gained these insights, we then had to articulate them back to the people that had originally given us this structure to work with. So how did we break our perspective? That first step. Now, we came in there as students saying, you know, this university needs some help, and you know, we're here. We're going to do this. We are the students that they chose for this class. Even as a freshman, I had that mentality. But as we went there, we listened to deans, to provosts. We listened to the heads of student services. There was no red tape. We could talk to anyone in the university to break our perspective, to understand better what it means to be at a university. So we did, and we talked to people from the career world as well to get what people want from students when they graduate from the university. So this was an entire universal perspective of what is wanted from a university experience. And so as we were listening to this, us students, we were amazed at how much all of these different people were doing for us. We had every available resource. Anything that we could ever imagine to help us with our university experience was already in place. So then the question was, okay, so why did us crazy overachiever people that are in this class, why did we not know about these? If we don't know about them, I don't think anyone else is going to know about these. And so with that question, we then went on to do student interviews. And with these student interviews, we interviewed them about what they knew, what they used, what they loved, what they didn't. We interviewed them about their motivations for coming to college. All of them, every single person that we interviewed craved that self-actualization, that they imagined when they first came to the university. That change from the potential person that they were to the actual person that they wanted to be when they graduated. To have that confidence, that strength, and those distilled skills that they gained while here at the university. So from this, we looked at the insights and we said, okay, so the university wants the students to have this, and the students are getting that. So how can we bridge this gap? So then we came up with 3 different solutions. Each team, there were 4 of us teams, I believe, and each team came up with 3 solutions. And one solution that was posed by my team was to create a new online website, an online portal, where each student would be personally led through that information, so that a student who was an athlete could have information tailored to them about what things might interest them. I mean, you go to Amazon.com and you type in leg warmers and you'll be getting leg warmer advertisements for the next 6 months. You might as well have something in the education sector that says, oh, you like sports? You might enjoy this class. And so we wanted to create a companion. We wanted to create a guide that would help students maneuver through the university and would help them have a more meaningful, information-driven experience. And so that's what we did. The second semester on the project, we prototyped these 3 solutions, these 3 prototypes of this new website. From this, we then presented it again to the people who originally put us on board. And then Vice President James Morales of Student Services said, you know what? I love this idea. We're going to continue it on. We are going to actually prototype this. So he and his team and a couple of us student advisors, I was chosen to be one of the advisors on the team, we went about creating this for real, that students could use. So, and that new tool should be coming out in beta testing in just a few short weeks in the spring semester. This is incredible, and I recognize the magnitude of what happened and the serendipity of what happened. To me, I'm a changed person from this. I've never been pushed so hard in my life. I've never been challenged that hard in my life. I have never craved achieving something so much in my life because I was invested in it. Not only have I been changed, and I am a more confident person standing before you, but the university was changed. These ideas did not just stay in our classroom. We presented them to people who could make a change, and they listened. The university listened. And these changes have been implemented not only with our prototype, but with the ideas, with the conversations that are happening here at Utah State. Okay, so this is huge. This project, this is of a magnitude that cannot be reached for every student. I recognize that. That's not feasible. That's not actual. It cannot happen. But there are different principles from this class that can be taken, that can be utilized in every student's education. And there are 4 principles that I came up with as I was thinking about this experience. And these 4 principles are, first, that they gave us the ability to do this. They gave us the opportunity, the responsibility, and then they gave us a challenge. First, before anything else, they gave us the ability to maneuver through this system. They gave us the language to use. They gave us the language that the administration used. They gave us the knowledge that people have about the university. They didn't say just go at this on your own and try to combat all of these problems. They led us. They led us step by step, giving us the information that we needed to do this. After they gave us the ability, they gave us the opportunity. They said, with no red tape, you go out and you create this. You go interview the people that you want to, that you feel would be the best. They gave us the driver's wheel as students. They gave us the responsibility to do this. We did not get a grade for this class. This was a pass-fail class. We were not extrinsically rewarded at all. We were intrinsically rewarded. This meant so much to each one of us because we were making a difference. We felt that we were making a change for the better in our university, and that was enough for us. That was more than enough. We've all gone on to continue to be student advocates. We have all done these things, And beyond giving us the ability, the opportunity, and responsibility, they gave us a challenge. They didn't just have us regurgitate information that was already there. They didn't just have us tell them what they told us. They had us come up with new ideas, with creating things. They had us go out and do this actual research. They entrusted us with this. So they gave us that responsibility and that challenge. And I recognize that this cannot be, this whole process cannot be duplicated. It was very serendipitous, but these principles need to be taken into the university. They need to be taken into the student experience. Students need to seek them out. Students need to find these environments that will push them. The faculty need to create them. Be co-creators with your students. Allow them to articulate their voice. They will rise to the challenge. More than that, administration needs to listen, as they did here at Utah State University, because when that happens, it was magical. There's so much talk about scarcity within the university system. There's not enough money. There's not enough time. There's not enough talent. There's not enough space. Well, there is enough student potential. Here on this very campus, we have thousands of minds, thousands of people. We were just 15, and look what we did. Imagine if we utilized this force. We put this force into motion and helped them actualize their potential to become what they could be, to empower them, but not only to empower them, but to empower the university. Nobel Peace Prize winner Gabriel Garcia Marquez said, "Human beings are not born once and for all on the day that their mothers give birth to them, but life obliges them over and over again to give birth to themselves." I believe this. This process of empowering the environment, of creating a fertile environment, is not only in the education sector, but it can be in a business setting, it can be in a family setting, it can be in friendships, it can be in anything, because this is not about putting student potential to use only. This is about putting people into action. Thank you.